I'm Brian Goldfinger of Goldfinger Injury Lawyers, and you know what makes me mad? When insurance companies deny your claim for no good reason. That's why people call me. I'm the lawyer insurance companies don't want to deal with. Visit goldfingerlaw.com and get us working for you.
Get Goldfinger today.
Hello and welcome to the Raptors Reaction Podcast. I'm your host, William Liu. Thanks to Zarar and Sam for holding it down while I was away on vacation, but it's after the All-Star break. I'm back. The Raptors are back. And joining me to discuss this very, I wouldn't say it was a great game, but it was definitely full of storylines, with the Raptors winning 120-117 over the San Antonio Spurs, is Asad.
Quite a theatrical masterpiece tonight, an emotional journey in this game between the Toronto Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs. William, it's a pleasure you having me on today to discuss this game.
You're speaking the way Fred VanVleet was dressed. Fred came in with like a Deloitte type outfit, man. He looked good. But, let's start at the end, all right? Because this is DeMar DeRozan's, homecoming. It was very emotional. A very expensive game to go to. People paying thousands to see DeMar DeRozan, even though he played 9 years here. And DeMar gets his tribute video. I mean, everyone's getting tribute video. It was weird, man. I mean, like, they gave a tribute video to the ACC turning 20 years old. That's, like, did you have to do that tonight? Like, I could get this anniversary, but I don't know. But it was DeMar's night the whole way, and it honestly looked like the Spurs were going to take it at the end. DeMar had a great assist, driving kick to Belinelli to give the Spurs the advantage, and he had the ball in his hands on a very crucial moment, and he turned it over in the most cruel way possible with his best friend, Kyle Lowry, swarming him with a random double team right at half court. And then the guy he got traded for, Kawhi Leonard, who, the team that he played for forever, the Toronto Raptors, decided, you know what, we're cool, DeMar, we thank you for everything, but we want this guy over here. And it just happens to be that guy, Kawhi, who takes the ball and then dunks it. And
shout out to VTech Poppy, who summed it up. It was in true Toronto fashion, yo. Your ex and her new man robbing you in the middle of nowhere.
Yo, for real, that's exactly what happened. This is like, I feel so bad for DeMar, but as a Raptors fan, it's just like, it's almost hilarious, you know what I mean? This is like some WWE scripted shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kyle Lowry with the steel chair to, like, I don't know, I haven't watched wrestling in like 10 years, but, it's funny because Kawhi wasn't even having that great of a game. Like, this is one of Kawhi's, he had an awful game.
Like,
8 of 23 shooting.
I would love a free pair of New Balance sneakers and all that, but that is not a good look for his first game with New Balance sneakers. Okay. My God, this guy looked out of sorts everywhere.
Accountant Asad would never say that. Accountant Asad would definitely wear New Balances.
Yo, I do like the shoe though. It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, we could start with Kawhi, I guess. I mean, he looked rusty. 8 of 23 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3, forcing a lot of his offense. He got to the free throw line, and he was able to use his physicality to sort of put his mark on the game. And he still ended up with a team high 25 points, but I don't know, man. What's going on? I feel like Kawhi hasn't really looked quite himself for like 10 games, and 10 Kawhi games really spans like a month.
This is by far the worst he looked. Like, the games leading into the All-Star break, he didn't look good. I personally, like, since he came back from like that rest week he took, the maintenance week, the load management week he took, I personally, like, he had, I think, 2 30-point games since in that span after he came back, but they didn't look good. Like, for whatever reason, like, his just rhythm kind of seemed off. He's not blowing by guys as easily. Defensively, he's been passive at times and just kind of getting
he was supposed to guard DeMar.
Destroyed by Patty Mills whenever the hell Patty Mills wanted to today.
Yeah.
Like, he got exposed by Patty Mills' leadership.
Okay. All right. No, for real though, this game was gonna look real bad on Kawhi if it wasn't for that game-saving steal. Which wasn't even really him. It was really Kyle that stole the ball.
And that turnaround jumper. Like,
yeah.
The guy started the game 2 for 13. When Jack said 2 for 13, I was like, how? How are you 2 for 13? All of your shots have been at the rim.
You think this is like a rhythm thing for him? You know
100%. Like, at the beginning of the game, he was like, the one thing was this was like a charge game, and like, the team clearly came out revved up. Like, you saw that from Lowry's energy.
Kyle was great.
Lowry looked like a completely different player. Like, if this is what playoff Lowry is, like, we'll get to it, but that was quite promising. But even Kawhi, he started the game, and like when he was on the ball, he seemed revved up. He was blowing by his guy to get to the basket, and he just seemed to be going faster than he I think was processing things, where he's going too fast for himself. And he the rhythm was just gone. And then he tried to slow it down to try and find rhythm, and then he was just getting confused by the double teams. And he was passing out of the double teams pretty well. I don't think his passing was poor today. He actually did a pretty good job passing the ball.
Spurs double teamed them all night.
He didn't really get any assists for his credit, but the ball moved and he hit the right man. He had one no look in the first half. We got doubled around the mid post, and he looked to the corner and no looked it to Kyle, stepping into a spot at the wing, and then what that did was it forced the defense to rotate from the corner up, and then Kyle hit Siakam for the corner three.
Yo, Pascal.
Or no, Danny for the corner three. Also, Pascal.
Yo, what's going with
Pascal's
Pascal?
first corner three.
He turned around like Steph Curry. What the hell?
Steph Curry, the Spurs.
Come on, man. Yo, someone on Twitter, I forget who it is. I apologize for stealing this, but I mean, Pascal was literally Andre Roberson the first 3 years of his career, and then he's doing this. Wild. I just want to take credit because in the very first game Pascal Siakam played, my very first tweet was like, "Holy crap, we just drafted new KG." But he's way better than Kevin Garnett. Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Franchise player, honestly.
I mean, Pascal, I would say, was the best Raptor tonight in terms of his overall impact. I mean, honestly, Kawhi had nothing, for the entire first half of the game, and really was Pascal who had a couple nice driving dishes to Kawhi to get him going.
Franchise player got his guys going.
Yeah,
you got to get your role players involved. Got to get your 3-and-D guys involved when the 3 isn't falling. You know what I mean? Yep. Get him some easy buckets at the hoop. Pascal did that. Got him 2 easy buckets to start the third quarter.
And then Kawhi was okay. It was okay-ish. He was okay-ish.
He started 2 of 13. I think he ended 6 of 10 from the floor.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Pascal.
This is the thing. I think, Kawhi, I do agree. It's a rhythm thing, right? It's not like he forgot how to play basketball. Although today he really, the way he looked tonight was like a player in preseason. You know what I mean? That kind of just kind of get your feet wet and trying to figure out your rhythm, timing, and everything like that. And I think, honestly, just playing 2 straight weeks without missing a game would be great just for his rhythm, just for his own personal rhythm, right? Because it wasn't like the Spurs were doing anything completely new to him. They put padding on him and put a smaller guy to sort of take away his dribble and sort of really body him up, and then they sent help. But he's seen all that throughout the entire season, and he succeeded. It was weird to see Kawhi do what he did. Luckily, Kyle Lowry really picked it up. I thought, like you mentioned, if this is the playoff Kyle we get, this is great because even the stat line is a little bit modest: 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Obviously, one of the steals, led to the game-winning shot. But also, I just thought the way Kyle pushed the pace, and also the way he played defense. I really thought the rest of the Raptors were kind of really sloppy on defense, like Siakam, Kawhi, Danny, Ibaka, and Gasol. Those are usually very good defenders. Today, they were just really slow and really out of position. Kyle played really good defense, and even on the last shot there, he was the one that contested Bertans' shot and then also got back into the play for the rebound. But also, man, this game really came down to Kyle Lowry switching out to DeMar DeRozan over and over again and then stopping him. I feel so bad for DeMar, as if it's your best friend.
Incredible defense. DeMar didn't even do anything wrong. DeMar got the move off.
Yep.
His footwork was fine. He got deep. He got deep position.
Yep.
He got the last one. He was pretty deep into the mid post, and Kyle just swarms you as soon as you turn around. He gets right under you.
Yep.
And has hands in your literal face. You're not even going for the ball.
Yep.
And it's damn, man. Kyle brought his game today. And the thing I noticed, it was right away. It was off the tip. He just pushed the ball with so much force.
Yep.
And he pushed it to go to the rim. He went to the rim a few times tonight.
Yep.
If not to just finish the play, but just bursting to the rim and then bringing it back out. And then he had a couple finishes tonight. I think the one to end the half, or end the half or end the third quarter, third quarter, where he just 7 seconds left and he just got himself split the defense, got to the rim for a layup, and it's all right, that Lowry we haven't seen in a while, and he just had a different zip tonight than I've seen in probably the last 2 weeks. You've seen him kind of speed up. As he's gotten in better shape. I think he also looked in better shape than he has in a while. Usually the white jerseys can tell if a guy's in shape or not. Marc Gasol, I'm not terribly certain if he's in great shape right now.
Marc Gasol's eating that paella.
Oh, man.
he's-
I don't know
yeah.
what Serge fed him on How Hungry Are You coming out next week, but my God, he
Yo.
was terrible tonight.
I don't actually know how the Raptors won this game, to be honest, because I felt like most of the Raptors played terribly. It's really just Kyle and Pascal and Danny Green that played
just
well.
did not guard Jakob Poeltl for like 3 straight possessions and just gave him
Yo,
layups.
there was one play where, like, it was, I forgot who, I think McCaw was stuck in the post against
McCaw's
Rudy
in the
Gay.
post, and Gasol just leaves this guy under
like,
the basket.
what
and
are
just
you-
saunter over? And I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, the fact, it's just, I can't get over the fact that, like, DeMar, I mean, like, he really came out in this game. He didn't really have the same approach that he did in San Antonio, where he got his first career triple-double. Like, that one, he was out for blood. This one, he was sort of just kind of, like, feeling his way through and was really frustrated and really emotional and things like that. But, like, in the fourth quarter, it honestly, I can't believe basketball is this cruel. Like, it's really Kyle Lowry who knows all of his tricks, all of his foul-baiting tricks, right? Knows exactly that he wants to switch onto the point guard and attack through the post, and Kyle just knew exactly what he's going to do. I mean, Kyle won the Raptors this game, period, right? Like, Kawhi had some good moments in the second half. You know, Pascal had some great moments in between, and Danny Green was red hot from 3 early on. And Jeremy Lin actually had a really nice fourth quarter there. I think he scored 9 points to give the Raptors a boost, to keep the Raptors close. But it was really Kyle that got the Raptors over the hump. And God bless
And
Kyle
to be
Lowry,
fair
man.
to DeMar like coming
good
in. I
game.
know the last month and a half has been a little rough for DeMar. He's been dealing with a couple injuries. I think he's been dealing with some knee soreness and something else as well. So he's been in and out of the lineup.
Yep.
And like his shot's been a little off. His speed hasn't been as great. So like I was kind of worried that he might just not perform that well this game because of that stuff. So him lacking that same type of aggression and zip from that game, I think is just kind of carryover from what's he's been kind of going through like health wise last month or so. But he had a great line tonight. Like personally,
Yeah.
like just watching DeMar play, he played
Really
pretty good.
efficient.
And he's efficient. He only took 12 shots.
Yeah.
And he hit 7 of them. It's pretty good. That 360 layup though
Oh
on
my
Serge.
God. Ooh,
Serge owes him $100, man.
definitely. I mean, the
I
original
bet you $100. DeMar really thinks $100 is a big amount. I respect
Yo,
it.
remember when DeMar was like, "Yo, I'll give any of you guys, yo, Doug Smith, I will give you $100 if you could guard LeBron." $100, one crispy bill. Oh my God, that's
man.
even less money than Dante Jones was being paid by LeBron to just shit can Bismack Biyombo. Yeah, I mean, Kyle had a great, it's a great moment by Kyle. I mean, let's talk about the rest of the players though.
Yep.
I guess we'll start with the positives and move to the negatives. All right. So Jeremy Lin in the fourth quarter scores 9 points. I feel like Lin and Gasol have a little bit of chemistry in terms of just like those two guys know how to operate the pick and roll, and it's just really over time. I think I don't really permanently like Gasol off the bench. I don't think that's the best use of his skill set. I think his skill set probably works a little bit better with the starters. But if that is the second unit combination, I think that is a dependable source of offense, and they have to really consolidate on that. Like, stop giving the ball to Norm, which, man, Norm looked bad. Norm was forcing his shit again.
Norm looked bad.
I feel like every time Norm gets in a very small role, he doesn't know when his minutes come, he starts forcing his shots, and it's like, dude, no, please. It's the opposite.
To be fair, I think tonight, like, the guys who played bad, you can kind of just chalk it up to, like, first game back from the All-Star game. Because it was a lot of rhythm stuff that was just kind of off.
I don't know, man. Powell was going for those
I
contested layups over two guys again, which is the worst part about Powell's game by far.
I don't totally agree with you about Jeremy Lin and Gasol having any special chemistry in terms of pick and roll. Like, they obviously ran it well. But Jeremy Lin was just as fine. I think he had another 4 points once Serge came in. They ran that pick and roll to perfection. I think Jeremy Lin is just really good at pick and roll.
Yep.
And I was actually really excited watching Jeremy Lin. Like, even when he was missing, he would start off 0 for 5.
Yeah, he was getting good shots.
But his ability to get to the basket and keep his dribble and then make a pass, like the fact that he can pass out of a pick and roll, or like make like that one pass he had to Serge where he drove hard to the basket, off the pick and roll,
went baseline,
circled back,
and
then hit Serge after the seal with that little pocket bounce pass. Like that's all you need from your point guard to do. And
Fred VanVleet, take note, man.
Do that.
Fred has tried to do that all year, and he's failed.
Sorry, I blew on the mic. But, oh, my God. Fred, like, I love Fred, but he's just, like, he just can't run pick and roll, man. He's just too small. He can't see it, the passes, and he just can't make them. So, like, I'm actually really excited when he comes back. I'm just really excited for when Fred comes back, for him to be paired with with Jeremy Lin.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Jeremy Lin can be that on-ball pick-and-roll guy to initiate your bench offense.
Yeah, definitely.
And then if Fred VanVleet is catching it off the drive once the paint collapses for catch and shoot, or to make the ball rotate, or to attack a closing defense, or a defense that's in motion, that becomes something that's sustainable on your bench where you can start creating stuff. Because then you're that fourth or fifth guy in that unit becomes just a spot-up shooter, which is kind of what you need out of an OG or a Norm, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And one of the other bright spots in this game is OG. His shooting has really come around.
His shot
he
is
had
different.
those okay, so you think his shot's different because he did have like 4 threes against Washington. I think he had like 24 points, something like that. And then today he only had 9 points, but 3 of 3 from deep. And the other attempt was a dunk.
So clean.
Okay, so what do you see
so
different
clean.
with his shot?
So someone pointed out, because I knew something was like different, because it just like looked a little
It
more
looked smoother,
compact.
way
remember,
smoother.
you remember before he'd shoot and then he'd do that little sauce thing where his like arm would jut
bro, his
to the
hands
right.
would come apart. Like I don't know what that is.
That's
man.
all gone. Like it's just a straight.
Yeah.
It's just compact. It stays in the box and he shoots it. And I was like, damn, because the shots, like usually when OG even makes threes, they don't look clean.
No.
They're like,
'Cause his
these weird. They have a weird arc, or they'll bang off the rim and make a weird sound for whatever reason, like a Milt Palacio ass shot.
Okay.
Out of Milt Palacio.
Wow. A lot of former
Dude, he
Raptors
made the
getting
rim
shots
sound so weird on made shots. Like every one of his made shots sounded like a brick. Anyways. Yeah, OG shot just looked a little different. I'd like to watch some footage and see like if that's what it seemed like, that it just seemed more compact and tighter.
He's learning from Pascal. That's how
yeah.
Pascal improved the shot, for real.
And it looked repeatable. I was like, that's a nice looking shot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be great. It'd be a great boost if the Raptors could have OG as a dependable 3-and-D guy, because I think defensively he's been really solid for a couple months now, really. I really enjoyed his defense tonight off the bench against guarding a guy like Gay, who, is kind of a tricky cover, to be honest. Really, Gay's pretty skilled.
Yep.
And if OG can hit the threes too, that'd be great, because, the Raptors all year have struggled with 3. I think, honestly, the Raptors really were in this game because of the 3-point shot, especially early on. Like, the offense was not good at all. The Spurs did a really good job of shutting down the paint. The Raptors also did a really good job of missing bunnies, but whatever. The Raptors shot 14 of 30 from deep. They had 12 threes by halftime. So, that was really what carried them early on. The Spurs kind of adjusted and, they kind of were more aggressive on the 3-point line, and the Raptors got more twos, second half, whatever. But, let's talk about the negatives, though. Gasol.
Oh my God,
bro, this was
this
tough.
Guy
this was tough to watch.
He was still on All-Star break, man.
He had nice assists.
Sauntering around the court.
Yo, he had nice glamour assists, but otherwise it was an ugly performance from Mark, man. And a little bit jarring, to be honest, because it's not like the Spurs. I mean, like, Pirtle's a nice player. We all know exactly what Pirtle can do. He's Austrian Amir Johnson, but no, but for real, he's Austrian. That's not even slander. I love Amir.
That's legit.
But, I mean, Gasol should do a lot better in that matchup. And I thought, honestly, he got outplayed by Pirtle, despite the fact that Gasol had these assists. I don't know, man. Physically, he didn't look, I don't know. How long was All-Star break? Like a week? I didn't even gain that much weight on vacation. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it was like,
what do you do?
Solid week, right? Because the last game was on Thursday, so it was like 8 days at least.
It's just
the
8
last
days.
Game. I know, but I don't know where he went on vacation. But, okay, well, he was back in Memphis moving. I don't know. I'll give him the game, just like, as in, all right, cool, you're moving stuff. Sure. Because he just didn't look like he had energy out there to really be moving. He just seemed like 4 steps slow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like he looked 4 steps slow, like, relative to the other team. It's like he looked 4 steps slow compared to him last week.
Yeah. I mean, he was like battling foul trouble all game because, to be honest, he was out of position a lot.
Oh, yeah. And, even, the blocking fouls he was arguing, it was like, man,
yeah, I mean,
you're sticking your gut out.
For real, though.
That's a blocking foul.
That's a Chuck Hayes foul, man. You're fouling him with your stomach. So, I mean, look, we'd expected a lot better out of Gasol, really. I think he's shown to be better than this already, and I was waiting for him to sort of turn it around. He didn't really turn around. Kawhi we already covered. He turned it around. And, thankfully, Ibaka was there to, shore up the defensive glass, which was an issue for the Raptors in the first half. Second half, not so much. Ibaka was a lot better. I think Kawhi was a lot better, too, even though he only had 3 defensive rebounds. It feels like all 3 were very important ones.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this whole Ibaka-Gasol thing, like, I think they should really rotate based on matchups. And based on just on paper today, like, I think Ibaka did a great job against LaMarcus. LaMarcus had 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. But I think, generally speaking, like, you should try to rotate the two centers just because I do want to see what the starting lineup looks like. I do feel like Gasol will shoot us around.
There were transition lineups where I think they played probably like 8 minutes of the starting lineup.
Yeah. But it wasn't even planned. It was just like foul trouble that, like, you know.
No, not really. It was like well, they had the first 8 minutes, the first 6 minutes Ibaka played, then they subbed him out, put Gasol in, right? And then at the 10-minute mark, I think the entire starting lineup subbed out.
Right.
But I actually like the stretches where it was Gasol with the starters.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he wasn't finishing well, like they were able to get some good looks out of it. And the one thing, like Gasol's just that the quick passing, the passing's a lot faster with him. Even when he's having a bad game, passing is a lot faster. And the biggest thing was there was a starting lineup. The starting lineup was basically out there, and Kyle Lowry got a catch and shoot 3 out of it because Gasol moved the ball and found him.
Exactly, which is something that never happens. Kyle has to create so much of his own offense. Yep.
Kyle's either taking a pull-up 3. He's not taking any catch and shoot 3s unless they're like in transition and
or off set plays, like after a timeout or off a baseline inbound or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is true. It will help Kyle, and I think it'll even help Kawhi too, just because as much as Serge has been great, Gasol sets a lot bigger screens in terms of, I don't know, man. It seems like we're all just like subtly somehow dissing Gasol's heft. Like, he sets massive screens. Like, all right, cool. No, but like, I think he does make more contact on the screens, and I think it helps. I think Lin got a couple of drives just off Gasol, creating separation. And same thing with Leonard. Leonard came off the screen, I think in the third quarter there. Gasol wiped his man. The help had to come, and then Leonard with a quick bounce pass back to Gasol for the dunk. Gasol still has 6 assists, so that's nice. But
also, and that talking about that pick and roll, that's also something I think the Raptors probably need to go to a little bit more, especially down the clutch. Like if you're gonna give Kawhi the ball and you're gonna center him up like that, right, in the middle, instead of there was that one play, he got the ball in the middle, he drove right on DeMar, and then Serge was spacing in the corner. So Serge managed help down, and you get Serge an open corner 3. That's not really that great of a shot, to be honest.
No.
It would be a lot more beneficial. Like you can still set it up the same way, but then have Serge set a pick, and so then he becomes a roller, and he has his own roll gravity. So he's still an offensive threat, and his defender has to stay attached to him, and Kawhi still gets an advantage off the screen and gets to attack it, right, without the second man coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the better way to go about attacking it, just like watching instead of using Gasol, even if Gasol's in there, instead of using Gasol or Ibaka as spacers in that situation, use them as screeners.
Yeah.
For Kawhi on ball, because I think they'd just be more useful, especially if teams are just going to double Kawhi. Because that first half was basically what the playoffs are going to end up looking like.
Yeah, yeah.
Which means the Raptors have to shoot like this.
Exactly.
In the playoffs as well.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
All right. I'm running short on time, so let's hand out 3 stars. First star has to be Kyle. He's came up with the most important plays.
I've got to say, Kyle, he was dripping too hard.
Okay, all right. Yo, Jack,
he was definitely his drip was definitely the hardest.
Yeah. Are you talking about when he wears a towel like a head wrap drip? Is that the drip you're talking about? Oh yeah, by the way, Nick Nurse got ejected from this game, by the way. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. If the Raptors lost this game by 1 or 2 points, and it was because Nick Nurse got his swaggerless ass ejected from the game, I would have been so pissed.
Oh yeah, first of all, fuck Mark Davis.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Fuck Mark Davis.
He is every time. Halfway through the game, I'm like, yo, why is the officiating so bad? And then I was like, oh yeah, Mark Davis, and I was like, yeah, this is bad. And then 2 minutes after that, Nick Nurse got ejected for I don't even know what did he do. Really? Also, was Nick Nurse wearing 2 suits? He looked like he was wearing He was Hugh
Jackman from The Greatest Showman.
Yo, for real, he had a navy blazer underneath, pants and top, and then he had a gray coat over it. It looked like he was wearing 2 suits.
An extra from Sherlock, man.
Yo,
Murdoch
for real.
Mysteries ass Nick Nurse, yo.
Shout out Canadian content. Oh, yo, Murdoch Mysteries, man. That show's bad. That show's real bad. It plays at very prominent times on CBC. Kim's Convenience better. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Kyle for first star. Who you got for second star?
Second star. Not Kawhi didn't play. Pascal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Pascal.
Yeah.
He carried the offense for basically the second and third quarter.
Yeah.
And he got people going. And I think he ended up being a -10 for the game somehow. Don't terribly know how.
Yeah.
Probably because he was playing with the garbage Kawhi units where Kawhi was just bricking. But honestly, Pascal basically got whatever he wanted at will. It seems like they kept matching up. He kept getting Davis Bertans on him, and he kept eating him alive. My God.
Yo.
You got DeMar in the post, got a foul on him as well.
These teams have to stop disrespecting Pascal by putting these random European power forwards. Like, no Ersan Ilyasova, no Davis Bertans, none of this trash, all right? Because Pascal's just roasting these guys and going.
The one thing is, like, Pascal, like, early on it was like, oh, he's getting a lot of his offense, like, off of Kawhi or off of Lowry in transition. Now it's like, he's just in the half court. You give him an ISO, he's going to get you a good look.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's like, it is astounding. Also, I think Pascal's got he's basically like Ditto, where he just sees a player on his team doing something and he just picks up that skill. Marc Gasol joins the team for four games. Four games Marc Gasol's on the team, and now Pascal's throwing random ass passes from like out of nowhere. Of course, he had some dimes in the past too, but he had some nicer dimes. Like, he had one to Kawhi that he just like lobbed up there.
Oh yeah. That was a beautiful pass.
I was like, damn, Pascal.
You're right. He stole that from Kyle, man. I'm telling you, he's Smeargle. Every 10 levels, he gets to take a move from somebody. That's how fast he's. Yeah. Shout out to Metapod. Rest in peace. So yeah, Pascal number 2, and then I would say number 3. It really comes down, like, there's a couple of options here. I think Serge really deserves some love with 13 points, 15 rebounds, but ultimately I feel like Serge also missed some like really wide open looks in the fourth quarter, so I don't feel great about that. Danny was really hot early on from 3, 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. But, you know, I'm just gonna say it. Jeremy Lin was very important in the fourth quarter, all right? He really kept the Raptors afloat. He only had 11 points and 4 of 11 shooting. First half, he was not there. Second half, especially in the fourth quarter, he carried the Raptors for a while, and for that reason, I'm giving him a 3rd star.
And that's the reason why you signed him. Like, that was it.
He gets you sparks.
That's dynamic scoring that he gave them in that fourth quarter, whereas, like, you just need somebody who can get a shot off and can get a good look. And he changed the game. Like, he was able to get to the rim at will. He was able to get open in the mid-range at will. And, like, sometimes those shots are going to go in, sometimes they won't, but when they're going in, that gives you a guy that you can, like, kind of throw in there for a couple minutes and be like, yo, get me a bucket.
Yep.
And
it's something DeLon couldn't do. For real, it's something DeLon and even Fred can't really do. Just consistently create off that. And, like, he can actually create in the sense that, like, he can come off the high screen, the defense is sagging back, playing him to drive. He can actually take and make those pull-up mid-range jumpers. He's also just faster
than those guys.
He's bigger. He's way bigger than Fred. He doesn't have to do Fred's, like, oh, I'm going to get in the lane, and then all of a sudden, I think I'm Kyrie, I'm going to do a spinning layup.
And he's got a good handle. He did a behind the back crossover into a drive and then behind the back pass to Serge.
Yeah. Like,
that was one combo that, and I was like, damn, that's nice. That's a nice combo to have instead of Fred VanVleet doing a bunch of random dribble moves and his defender that's just standing there like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not gaining an advantage. What are you doing? I like Jeremy Lin today. I think he was their star, to be honest.
This is why you get Jeremy Lin, to do stuff like this. You know. Anyway, Gerald Henderson. DeMar? No, come on. No, that's rude. That's rude.
Marco Belinelli, bro.
Yeah. Revenge game. Marco Belinelli, revenge game.
My God. Also, shout out to Jack Armstrong, who just always just manages to throw some sort of shade at Marco Belinelli.
Oh, what did he say?
Every game.
What did he say?
He was saying something like, I think it was when Belinelli started the game, he traveled like 3 times.
Oh yeah. He was.
The first one that went uncalled, Jack just like ripped into it. And like, this goes back to even when like Belinelli was playing on Charlotte, where Jack was just going at him randomly about, like this guy, he has all the skills, but he just, for whatever reason, he just keeps ending up on losing teams and guys don't pick him up. He keeps bouncing around. You'd think someone with his skills would get picked up, but he just keeps bouncing around. And it's a shame to see it. I'm like, man, damn, Jack really doesn't like Marco Belinelli.
Damn. Yeah, Marco was good, man. 21 points off the bench, 7 of 15 shooting, 5 of 12 from deep. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to describe a Marco Belinelli game. He took some awkward leading shots and he hit them. To be honest, he looked like he was going to hit the game.
He was
game-winning shot. He was not dripping too hard, man. He has some bad tattoos. Marco, get some of those tattoos from. Anyway. That's
I thought he had cupping thing on his shoulder, like the cupping thing.
It might be, man. I think he might be doing the Chinese cupping thing. Shout out Chinese medicine making a comeback. People nowadays getting acupuncture for fun. That's not fun, man. It's not fun. Anyway, that does it for the podcast. Asad, thank you for coming on the show. Where can people find you and your tweets?
Just at Swar Lasers on Twitter. Hit me up if you want to follow. Go ahead.
Yeah, tax season coming up.
It's all good. Yeah, it's basically here. So, get your stuff in.
Yeah.
Get your refunds early if you have them.
Yep. That's it.
Fun times.
Yeah. But not fun for you, though.
No, it's fun for me, too. Why not?
All right.
There's a certain fun, too.
Okay. Yeah. You sound like you're having the time of your life. All right, man. That does it for the podcast. I'll be back after the next game.